Hey guys, and welcome back to the Aether Hub. I'm Simon again, bringing you more Magic the Gathering lore. Today we'll be doing a little mini-series on the legendary creatures found in Wizards' latest Masters set, Masters 25, a set highlighting some of the most iconic cards across all sets ever released in MTG, all in celebration of 25 years of Magic. Of course, with 25 years, there have been some awesome stories and legendaries released. So now let's take a look at those featured in this Masters set. Today's video is about a two-headed ogre, a real classic fantasy trope that smashed its way all the way through Ravnica's infamous guild-filled city. This is the story of Ruric Thar, the Unbowed. As an ogre, Ruric Thar, whose two heads leads him to have two distinct personalities, is a member of the Gruul Clan on Ravnica. The Gruul are the more wild, uncivilized, brutish guild on Ravnica, regularly bucking the industrialization of the city plane in exchange for the outskirts, the limited natural segments left on Ravnica. The Gruul are made up of a collection of other smaller clans, coming together as a means of survival in a way Ravnica is kinda set up from a governmental standpoint, but still having their own unique ideals and cultures. Ruric Thar is from a clan known as the Gore, of which they are their chieftain. Born within this savage world, Ruric Thar actually had a pretty stable childhood, apparently with a sweet, intelligent mother and a skilled warrior father, originally from the Scab clan, another clan of the Gruul. As they grew into the towering, gigantic, kinda thoughtful beast he is today, Ruric Thar easily overthrew their clan's previous chief and took the mantle for themselves. They were even strong enough to face the Gruul leader, the ogre giant, Borborgormos, himself and live. Although they now bear the scars of that encounter, they also bear the prestige it has earned them among the Gruul. Oh, and as a side note, Ruric is the name of one head and Thar is the name of the other. It's not a first and last name, it's actually two first names, so yeah. Anyway, Ruric Thar stayed pretty dormant for a few years, bashing things when it was convenient or just fun for them. They would, however, eventually run across a little mind mage by the name of Jace Beleren. Hearing stories of the ogre's explosive, efficient, demolishing skills, Jace hired them for a very special job, destroying his own sanctum on Ravnica. He was trying to hide his research from those looking to steal it, research into a hidden maze beneath the surface of Ravnica, the Implicit Maze. Well, Ruric Thar was happy enough to take Jace's coin, especially for such a fun project, and as promised, Jace went from having a beautiful sanctum to a pile of rubble that used to be a sanctum. But as the smashing took place, Ruric Thar did manage to actually use their brains and gather some information on the maze themselves, which would come in handy as Jace actually purged his own mind of the information as well. As some Azorius thugs came to question Jace, Ruric Thar kinda accidentally helped Jace escape, fearing the Azorius had actually come for them. Jace would find his way back to Ruric Thar when trying to connect the dots of his wiped memory. Ruric Thar was actually in the middle of running the maze themselves, and this was well before its existence was revealed and the official challenge began. Along with a host of Gruul warriors and shaman, Ruric Thar lashed out at the Mind Mage for trying to take back his secrets. Jace struggled not to die in a single blow from Ruric Thar's mighty, meaty fist and axe hand prosthetic. Jace channeled the minds of the ogre's men and used them against Ruric Thar. After a pretty short bout, Jace emerged victorious, and Ruric Thar was happy? Ruric Thar respected the little mind mage who, despite his size, always managed to best his opponents, a true underdog story. Ruric Thar shared his knowledge and bid Jace farewell, only to have a group of Rakdos cultists join the party. They were, again as always, after Jace for a number of reasons. Ruric Thar offered for them and their men to hold off the crazy Rakdos as Jace escaped, resulting in a short but ferocious battle. Gruul versus Rakdos, right? Can't get more savage than that. Little blood ended up spilling, however, as the dragon Niv Mizzet of the Izzet announced to the entire plane the existence of the Implicit Maze and the Izzet's plan for the guilds to choose runners to claim its hidden treasure. The news took Ravnica by storm. Ruric Thar was named the Gruul Maze Runner due to their immense strength, their perfect embodiment of the Gruul Code, and of course their previous knowledge of the maze itself. While running the maze, which consisted of Ruric Thar smashing through several of the opponent's guild gates, putting the actual crash in gate crash, they formed a short-lived alliance with a small Izzet goblin named Squelch. As the Boros Legion attacked the massive ogre, and their gate being much sturdier than most, the goblin assisted the pair with a massive explosion from one of his latest inventions. Ruric Thar didn't much care for this annoying goblin, but allowed him to accompany them until the favor was repaid. And that, you guys, is basically all we have on the story of Ruric Thar. We assume that after Jace Beleren becomes the living guild pact, by successfully merging the minds and perspective of all 10 maze runners, including Ruric Thar, that Ruric Thar returned to his Gruul Clan and continued their duties as chief. Maybe we'll see them again once we return to Ravnica, or maybe they've earned their retirement. Either way, when it came to smashing, no one in the Gruul were better than these two. As they say, after all, 2 heads are better than 1. Anyway guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe for more in the future, and of course, share it across the multiverse. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here on the Aether Hub. You just watched one of the hundreds of videos we have here on the Aether Hub dedicated to the lore of Magic the Gathering. If you enjoyed the content, why not consider joining me in the Vorthos army? Support the Aether Hub and the Vorthos community here on YouTube by visiting and considering a pledge on our Patreon page at patreon.com/etherhub, or by checking out the link in the description below. You'll be supporting the biggest and best MTG lore content channel on YouTube, and ensuring you get the content you want 3 to 4 times a week. Along with joining the Vorthos army, you'll also get premium signed cards from me every month, legendary creatures, and cards of story significance we cover right here on the channel. You also get to see some of my side projects and even suggest topics for future videos as we interact on my Patreon feed. So, consider joining the Vorthos army today. This is where lore truly lives.